Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is October 22nd, 2024, and we now know who's going to be the referee for El Clásico match. Also, Barcelona have finished the contract renewal of Fermin Lopez, or they had already finished it, but now it's been confirmed by more people. And finally, I'm going to tell you the 4 renewal priorities that Barcelona currently have on their plate. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and before we begin with the news, just a quick reminder to make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. All of this helps this channel continue to grow. Also, if you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure to goal kits, skip bag, or fanatics. And if you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure to bet us. All links are down below in the description. Now begin this video with the news that on a day like today, October 22nd, 1899, 125 years ago, a Swiss guy living in Barcelona by the name Jan Gamper put an ad in a newspaper, which later led to the creation of FC Barcelona. Now, this was the ad that was published again on October 22nd, 1899, and in Los Deportes magazine, where Jan Gamper posted, "Our friend and companion, Mr. Kans Camper, from the football section of Society Los Deportes and a former Swiss champion." I'm reading it in this voice because I feel like that's how people read the newspaper back then. "Wishing to organize some matches in Barcelona, calls upon anyone who has an interest in the aforementioned sport to contact him. Being so kind as to pass by this editorial on Tuesdays and Fridays from 9 to 11 at night." So that was the ad by Jan Gamper in the newspaper, calling for people to come out and play with him football matches on Tuesdays and Fridays from 9 to 11. And well, lo and behold, a month later, on November 29th, 1899, 11 guys, well, Jan Gamper and another 11 guys created FC Barcelona. And to Jan Gamper and those gentlemen, I say thank you, gentlemen, for creating the biggest club in the history. And I wonder, did they ever imagine FC Barcelona would get as big as it is? Whew, if only we can have a time machine and bring back those guys and be like, look what you guys created, an absolute gift to humankind. Anyways, let's talk about injuries, because we do have an injury update about Andreas Christensen, who has been injured for quite some time due to some Achilles problems. In fact, he had been dealing with those problems all through last season, and now it's reported that Andreas Christensen is finally progressing in his recovery. He has been training on an individual basis, which means, he's getting close to recovery, but not quite yet, because as you know, the final phase is to train with the group. So far, Christensen has been training on an individual basis, and they say that his recovery is going well, which is, of course, good news because Christensen has been gone for some time. In fact, Barcelona ended up deregistering him in order to register Dani Olmo. So even if Christensen does fully recover, he won't be able to play since he's not registered. So Barcelona are going to have to figure out the registrations pretty soon, or at least by the time Christensen is fully recovered, which they're saying it's mid to long range. So we'll still have some time for the Danish's recovery. Now, speaking of injuries, we do have a bad news because Jamal Musiala trained today with the group, and Bayern Munich have announced that he will be traveling with the German team to Barcelona, or he has traveled with the German team to Barcelona, which of course is good news for the player and his team, but bad news for us because Jamal Musiala had been injured, but it looks like he has now traveled with the team and train with the group, which means that he could play. Now, we don't know if he's still fit enough to start or if he's gonna play just a few minutes, but we do know that he has traveled with the team. And that, of course, is a little bit of bad news for us. Now, of course, I would never ever wish harm for any players, but Jamal, my friend, take your time. You don't want to rush your recovery, What if you get re-injured? Just wait. Play on Thursday. How about that? Anyways, let's continue with the news because it's been announced who will be the referee for a Clásico match on Saturday against Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu. And well, it's no other than everyone's favorite referee. I say that, of course, sarcastically. Sanchez Martinez, the guy who has given us nightmares in the past, the guy who gave a red card to Xavi, Lenglet, Mingueza, Piqué. Pretty much he's red carded half of Barcelona squad. And while he will be the referee on Saturday against Real Madrid, it will be his 7th El Clasico match. Let's just hope he doesn't do anything controversial. But again, as I've always said, if Barcelona do their job, if they dominate, if they create chances, if they play competitively like they've been playing, the referee becomes irrelevant. So hopefully that will be the case on Saturday. Now more news, because today Fabrizio Romano confirmed something that I told you weeks ago. But since there's people who don't believe anything until Fabrizio Romano says it, well, let me say it again since I said it weeks ago. But Fermin Lopez has renewed his contract with Barcelona. Of course, he had just renewed last year. His contract expired in 2027 and it had a 400 million euro release clause. But in this past year, Fermin Lopez's value has skyrocketed, both in the market value and as far as his importance to FC Barcelona. And given the increased value of Fermin Lopez, Barcelona decided to give him another contract renewal. And now it's been reported that Fermin Lopez has renewed his contract with Barcelona until 2029. So 2 more years added with an improved release clause. We don't know the exact amount, and also with an increase in salary. And we are expecting an announcement, an official announcement for FC Barcelona pretty soon. Now, speaking of contract renewals, Barcelona have 4 main targets, or 4 more players that they want to renew. As you know, Barcelona have been working really hard on renewing their talent. They've been renewing players in the academy left and right. They renewed Marc Bernal earlier this season. They just renewed Fermin Lopez. And while the next 4 targets will be Pedri, Gabi, Ronald Araujo, and Frankie Young. Now, as far as Pedri, as I announced before, Barcelona have already started negotiations with the player. Barcelona consider Pedri as an absolute vital player for the team. Pedri wants to continue in Barcelona, so there's not going to be any problems there. The negotiations are ongoing, and it's reported that both sides are just, ironing out the different details of the contract, but it's expected that Pedri will be extending his contract past its expiration date of 2026. And the other player that Barcelona consider as vital is, of course, Gabi, who just returned from injury against Sevilla. Beautiful moment when Gabi returned, but he too is a player that Barcelona consider absolutely vital to the team, and Barcelona want to extend the contract of Gabi past its expiration date of 2026. And the third player is, of course, Ronald Araujo, who Barcelona sent him a contract renewal offer earlier this year. He has refused to answer that because there was a falling out between him and Xavi Hernandez, and it was reported that Araujo was not happy at the club. But as I reported a few days ago, Ronald Araujo now is changing his mind. It looks like he's more inclined to stay now that he's seen that things have changed under Flick. And of course, the final guy is Frankie Young, who he too was sent a contract renewal offer earlier this year. And just like Araujo, he too has ignored that offer. But unlike Araujo, there is no news as far as Frankie de Jong being more inclined to stay or not. And as I've said many times before, Frankie de Jong is a talented player. If he wants to renew, he's more than welcome. But if he continues this way, I think Barcelona should absolutely offload him. After all, Barcelona paid him a lot of money to sign him. They've been paying him a lot of money for his salary. And so far, he has been very inconsistent. And to spend all that money on an inconsistent player that disrespects you the way Frankie de Jong has been doing by completely ignoring Barcelona's calls, might as well offload him. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. I did upload another video before this one, so check it out. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. And as always, peace, guys.